I'm already recording, you know.
It doesn't matter, you can edit it.
We're the maths, mate.
Welcome to MathsMate, the best maths tutorial in town. An education for a nation. A cool type of school. Sponsored by Tech Talk and Rhetorical Shift.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Learning Curve. Oh my god, can I please get another round of applause, because this is just my favourite channel.
Another one.
Yes? What?
Another
Yeah,
round of
yeah.
applause. Okay.
Yes, another round of applause.
Boo. I mean, yeah.
Yay. Today we are joined, I am joined by my two fellow mates, Mr. William Terry Wright and the Happy Clappy Shark.
What are you doing?
I'm introducing Will. This is called an introduction. I mean, if some random stranger from Thailand is watching this, we need to introduce ourselves, don't we?
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Why Thailand in particular?
You know why Thailand?
It just came to mind. Actually, no. The other day I was watching a documentary on the Viet Cong, and that's why. Sorry, that was Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah.
Yeah, it just it just came to mind. Okay.
I'm just gonna look at our analytics because I feel like now you've taken that from our analytics. Like there's someone watching from Thailand. I'm gonna
Is there someone
I'm gonna go and check now.
Yeah, check.
My channel. I don't even know how to. No, it's Creative Studio. Community. Right, let's see. Nope, not there.
Is there anyone
Analytics,
from?
There we go.
Is there someone watching from Thailand?
No, but there's people watching from Puerto Rico, Qatar, Australia, United States, and UK.
Qatar, really?
Yeah, Qatar. And it's predominantly male, but there's like 17% female. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's
the
good.
the most watched video in terms of it's been watched for the longest is our
Yeah.
first video, which is fractions.
That was that was terrible editing as well, Will.
Oi. I don't know what you're on about.
That was horrible. You know what? That was supposed to make a very good first impression, and you screwed up.
I had very little.
Just
to
like
work
this intro.
with.
I think
I'm gonna
most
wa-
people
What are you
know
trying
me.
to say about my PowerPoint?
I'm
Knows
saying it
Harga,
was crap.
founder of
Hello and welcome to
My
Maths Mate.
PowerPoint. Wait.
Today
Okay,
we will
I
be
think we're
doing-
going a bit off topic here.
This is
Let's get
what-
back.
Yes,
the
today's
subject
topic.
hatches.
Sorry, today's topic is this conflict in Syria. So today we're going to be explaining who hates who's bombing who's supplying money with who, and how the whole thing kind of started. So, go
Right.
ahead.
Let me first say this is all Tony Blair's fault. It's all his fault. This
Well,
is all
straight
George
up.
W. Bush's fault.
Mhm.
That's because when they went into Iraq, the only reason they went into Iraq was for the oil, and because they could control all the oil fields and, of course, be rich and powerful, and we get that. But it's mainly more about control. Now, if Tony Blair, or if the Americans and the British didn't go into Iraq, then we wouldn't have gone lots of extremist behaviors. You've got Al Qaeda, the Taliban, and now you have ISIS.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main problems. So, for example, suicide bombing started in Iraq because that was a way of putting fear into people, especially civilians, and both civilians and military. But that's where it all started.
We touched on this topic last week when we were on about conspiracies and 9/11.
Yes,
we
we
were
were.
talking about how possibly the American government could have framed, could have actually done 9/11 themselves, to kind of switch the blame from them to someone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Regarding the oil and the whole.
Exactly. Yeah.
friction
It's
between
for the Americans. For the Americans, it's all about control, and if they can control like a lot of commodities, then it makes them powerful, doesn't it?
Mhm.
And so that's the extremist side. But how the conflict started in Syria was because of the Arab uprising, which started in Tunisia when a man was set alight by the police for no particular reason. Actually, no, there was a reason. The reason was that he was standing in front of a government official building,
Yeah.
and he refused to move, and so he set alight, and that's when all the protests, the protesting started to happen, and yeah, and then one thing led to another. So you got Hosni Mubarak, Gaddafi, who else? You've got yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But I think it will spread to other countries, like especially Southeastern Asian countries like Pakistan and probably even China, maybe. But
Why is it going to spread there?
well, because if you think about it, a lot of it's to do with a lot to do with communism, and there isn't any freedom of speech, and that's what the people were annoyed about in the Arab and North African countries. So that's why you had all the Arab uprising and stuff like that. But specifically,
But they didn't have communists. They had dictatorships, not communists.
Well, you could say that, yeah, dictatorships, but there were some links to communism, like in Syria, who's Bashar al-Assad, so the president, he has very good links with Russia, and that's why you have Russia coming in right now. But what do you think?
Yeah, so I think it's a very valid point, but what I think we need to explain before
We get to
anything
that.
else is...
That was my iconoclastic rant there.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
who is actually bombing who. So I put on the screen this little diagram. I don't know, I'll try and send it to you in a second.
It's fine.
But what
I know what you're saying.
it shows is the top half shows who is friends with who, and the bottom half shows who is not only who is bombing who, but who is giving money to other people. So we can see that at the top we've got Assad, who is working alongside Hezbollah, Iran and Russia, and they don't like rebels or Islamic State, and Islamic State like a branch of the rebels, and that's what the little black line symbolises. And the rebels don't like Assad, so they're fighting Assad, but at the same time they don't like Islamic State because of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, and then the Western countries like the UK, the US, Turkey and the Gulf Arabs, they want to support the rebels, but they also don't like Islamic State, because no one likes Islamic State, because
Nobody likes Islamic State.
they're just barbaric and horrible. So that shows who likes who. The bottom half, however, is a little more complicated. Obviously, the little bomb symbols, the little 8-bit bomb symbols, show how.
Love the bomb symbols.
Yeah, show who is bombing who, and the bags of money show who's supplying money to who.
I think the problem with the war is that it's a war of religion.
Mm-hmm.
So Islamic State. So no one likes Islamic State, but the majority of them are Sunni. Now, with Hezbollah, Iran, and Assad is an Alawite, which is a sect of Shia. Now, Shias are... Well, they're a different sect. I have no problem with them. It's just that a lot of Sunnis don't like them. So that's why you have the rebels, so the FSA, the Free Syrian Army, who are majority Sunni, don't like Assad and his regime. And then you have the US, Turkey, and Gulf Arabs, who are supporting the rebels. But then you have Saudi Arabia, specifically Saudi Arabia and the Gulf Arab states, who are supplying Islamic State with funds, so money, weapons, lots of commodities. That's because they want Assad out, because he's an Alawite. So they're using Islamic State in order to get rid of Assad. Now, I don't know why they would do that after all the things they've done, and everyone knows that. But if you look at it from our perspective as well, BAE Systems in the United Kingdom are actually supplying Saudi Arabia with weapons, and the weapons that the Saudis have, or being supplied with, are giving giving the weapons to IS or Islamic State, which is quite ironical because we're supposed to be defeating them, but
targeting Islamic State. Yeah.
exactly, but we're indirectly giving weapons. And then you have the complex issues with the Kurds and Hezbollah, which are from Jordan. Now the Turkish are majority Sunni again, and the Kurds, the Peshmerga fighters, and the Jordanians basically are Sunnis. Shias, and they completely hate them. This goes all the way back to the Prophet's time, where the Sunnis and the Shias, they both split because of rulings and stuff like that, and different followings, and it gets a bit more complex. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But what do you think?
I got a little bit confused in terms of the whole religion thing. I'm an atheist. I don't do RE, that kind of thing, so I'm not very knowledgeable on that
No,
side.
it's very complex.
But carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. No. You carry on.
So what you've got on the diagram here is you can see the US are supporting Turkey and the Kurds, who hate each other and are obviously bombing each other, but they are also bombing Islamic State along with them they're bombing Assad. So everyone's bombing Islamic State, including Russia, but a bunch of people are also bombing Assad, not including Russia.
But see, the problem with that is that so the Russia and the US are both targeting ISIS,
Yeah.
but Russia supporting Assad, and the US are supporting the rebels.
yeah.
So that creates friction between the US and the
Yeah,
Russia.
the US and Russians, and us
Exactly.
actually, because we're on the side of the rebels.
Exactly.
So
But
that's
problem
what
is-
everyone is probably worried about, is the friction between the Western world and Russia. Could, if that escalates, that could be potentially be a very dangerous situation, because we all know what Russia's like.
yeah,
So
very.
that
Well,
could
if you look at it-
potentially get very dangerous.
Well, if you look at it, do you remember what happened in the 70s when Russia invaded Afghanistan? Now, what's happening is that Russia have got ground troops on Syria, and most likely they're going to start invading Syria as well and
Yeah.
helping Assad and stuff like that. And it's kind of mirroring what's happening in Afghanistan. So I predict that there is going to be a massive war between US and Russia, indirectly though, because they still hate each other. And ISIS are definitely going to take over more countries. I mean, they're controlling a third of Syria.
Kiss me, daddy.
What sort of that was said, by the way.
Who
What-
added Seb?
What countries do you think they're going to invade?
Wait.
Because,
Is Seb still online?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone from
But
the call now.
what countries do you think they're going to invade?
So if they're going to invade Syria, they're definitely going to invade Jordan.
Yeah.
The next one they're going to invade is Turkey, and that's when it's going to get more serious.
Yeah.
But
Once
that's-
they invade Turkey, that is when it gets really like that. Once that happens,
That's
that
it.
moment will cause huge friction between the US and Russia.
Well, see, the thing is, with in perspective of Turkey, what's going to happen is that it's like a gateway from east to west, and Turkey is basically that. So if ISIS get hold of Turkey, which they're probably not going to, it's going to be a big struggle for them because the Turkish have a very good army, but yeah. So sorry, the call just went there.
Oh,
So it's very unlikely that ISIS will get a hold of Turkey, but they are definitely going to take over some more countries.
So, what countries in that area are part of the NATO? Sorry, like because they can't invade any NATO countries.
No, they won't.
Because
be
that's
able to.
technically.
No, they wouldn't do that. No.
They're gonna go for Lebanon, definitely. They're gonna go. Well, they're already controlling Iraq, and they're gonna go for Iran. Now, the next place that is very crucial for them, because for some reason a lot of Sunnis hate Jewish people. It's like a long war that's happening right now. So the next place they're going to invade is Israel, and now, according to Islam, that's kind of like one of the signs of Judgment Day when Israel has been taken over. But I think that will definitely happen because ISIS, well, they hate everyone, so they're gonna. I think they're definitely gonna go for all those countries.
Everyone hates ISIS. ISIS hates
Everyone
everyone.
hates ISIS. Yeah, God, it's just very complex, and
Yeah.
it's gonna get a lot more serious.
Yeah,
And-
there's no way that the whole conflict can be avoided. Like the politicians might say, "Oh, we're doing our best to let this boil over, like not let this boil over, or help this situation to calm down." But the truth is, it's gonna boil over whatever happens, and that's it. There's no way around it. It's gonna go bad. There's no possible way of stopping it. And once it does go bad, that's when it could potentially get really dangerous.
It could possibly be our next World War III if we're going to be that serious.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I doubt it would get that serious, and hopefully it won't. But
Hopefully.
you never know. So
Yeah, exactly.
This is all hypothetical.
yeah, it's all
We discussed
hypothetical, obviously.
Mapping out different situations.
Yeah. But
Anyway, I think we'll wrap up there.
yeah, we've
Guys.
definitely enjoyed
Okay.
this episode, actually.
That was a brilliant episode. I
Hopefully
really
it's
enjoyed
been
that.
helpful for you if you didn't know what was going on in Syria. Hopefully you now have some idea about who's fighting who hates who, and what it could potentially turn into. So
But anyway,
give it a
thank you
like
very much
rating,
for listening in, guys.
subscribe.
And please do not leave any rude comments because it's very inappropriate, and we will flag you
Yeah.
and take you
That-
to YouTube.
That's literally just going to make people want to write rude comments.
No, if you do write rude comments, I will personally.
Thank you.
No, I won't. Thank you. I will.
What are you gonna do,
no.
Trey?
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna say.
Okay,
it.
he's not gonna do anything. So
I'm not gonna do anything, but I'm gonna be very annoyed, and you don't
Yeah.
want to see me when I'm annoyed.
yeah. Also, check out
Let's see what I'm
Conquest,
up
link
to.
in the description. Blah blah blah, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you then.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Never use a messy recipe. The trick
It's great.
Really good quality song.
Got it.
His face. His face.
Have you never listened to the Lazy Town remix before?
His
Been
face.
has left.
His face.
That's.
His face.
I'm not even gonna say.
Have you never listened to the Lazy Town remix before?
Oh. You should listen
No.
to it, Trey. It was amazing.